And I know you got a lot of familiarity with the CA, but what excites you about having North Carolina A&T as a member of the conference?
Well, I think first and foremost, it allows us to compete against, some of the very best teams in the conference or in the country. And if you want to, compete for a national championship, you got to be able to play with and amongst some of the best. So we're excited in that regard. Also, North Carolina A&T is a phenomenal university. I think it closely aligns with the member institutions in the CAA. So there's a lot to really be excited about coming into the conference.
Obviously, you're taking over a program that went 7-4 a year ago, but has a program very rich in tradition. How have things gone for you as a first-year head coach since you've taken over the job?
Things have been great. We come in with the mindset of trying to lay the foundation for how we want to play, what we're going to need to be able to do to compete at a high level in the conference. And I think our players have embraced the change. There's a strong and very proud tradition of success here. But what's in the past is in the past. And so we're all looking forward to the opportunities and the challenges that lie ahead.
First question this morning from Skip Foreman. Go ahead, Skip.
Morning, Coach Brown. How are you?
Excellent. How you doing, Skip?
Doing fine, Coach. First things first, most interesting open to your season. You go to UAB on a Thursday night, you come back home and play a rival school 2 games into the year. That's not only an interesting turnaround, but a pressure turnaround because it is a rival game. Can you describe what that's like? And it's going to be your first Aggie Eagle Classic game.
Yeah, so it's not ideal, but it is what it is. And we're excited about the opportunity to go down to Birmingham and display all the things that we've been working towards. And then, our fan base is very passionate, very passionate. And they've made it clear to me that, this Aggie Eagle rivalry is something that we take very seriously. And, Coach Oliver's built a tremendous program there. And we're looking forward to one game at a time, but absolutely excited about the chance to match up against our rivals up the road.
Prior to practice starting, what have you learned about your team, your first year coaching the Aggies, and what are the things you're going to be targeting going into the fall practice?
Well, the one thing that stands out is we got a bunch of very competitive kids on our team. They work extremely hard. They know what success looks like. So you're not having to try to, change the mindset of what it takes to win. They work hard. Now it's just a matter of putting our systems and schemes in place and how we're going to conduct ourselves, not just as football players, but as student athletes. Also, we put a great emphasis on the academic piece because that is the reason why they're here, to become educated men. And so, I think our kids have done a tremendous job of embracing their purpose here and the things that we're going to need to do to be successful in the conference.
Okay, and final question, off topic a bit. A lot of news lately about the hazing situation at Northwestern. This is not to get you to comment on Northwestern itself, but what does A&T and specifically you have in place to confront and prevent any sort of hazing incident from occurring within your team?
Yeah, so we made it known at the very beginning, Skip, of how we're going to treat everyone that we encounter. We talk about mutual respect, player to player, coach to player, and player to coach. There's absolutely no hazing within our organization. Our kids know that. Within our player handbook, we specifically spell out what it might look like and make it easy for, if any of our kids felt like they were being the target of hazing, to be able to come to us as a coaching staff and comfortably report what's going on.
Thank you, Coach.
My pleasure.
Next question this morning from Samash. Go ahead, Samash. You're on mute.
Hey, Coach, can you hear me?
I can now.
How you doing, sir? So this off season, there was a lot of, poaching of your roster even before you got here. There's some FBS programs that came down, and they got your best offensive player in Bashul Tootin and your two inside linebackers who are projected once again be starters. Can you just speak quickly on how you're going to replace both of those roles on offense and on defense?
Yeah, you know, it's challenging, not just for us, but for any FCS programs when your players are being poached by larger institutions. But we have some talented kids still on the roster. We brought in some talented young men that we believe will be able to come in and contribute right away. Some we added through the transfer portal. And then we have some really talented 2023s that I think are going to come in and give us some meaningful snaps on both sides of the ball. So, you know, part of this whole process is about building depth. And I think we have a number of talented kids that are going to allow us to build the necessary depth to be able to sustain over the course of the season.
And this, generally speaking, is that as a FCS program, is there anything you can do to prevent the big boys coming and picking what they want to end the season?
Yeah, I think, you know, for us, the most important thing is to create an environment where our kids want to stay, to treat them with respect, to provide the resources that they need to succeed both on and off the field, to create an environment that they say, hey, I love it here. I don't need to go anywhere else because all of the goals that I have in front of me, I can achieve right here at A&T.
And lastly, with Jalen Fowler graduating, you don't have a returning quarterback with a whole lot of snaps under his belt. I know that was one of the big position battles this spring. Where do you stand at the quarterback position, and when do you anticipate making a decision on who's going to be your guy for 2023?
Yeah, so right now we have 4, and it's an open competition. We're going to see who gives us the best opportunity to win. And, you know, I think probably after about week 2 of training camp, we'll have a pretty clear picture of who we can depend on. And, you know, there's no rule that says we can't play more than one quarterback. So we'll see how things go from a development standpoint of the guys. But I would hope after about the second week of training camp, we'll have a pretty good idea who might be the starter going into the season.
Thanks, Coach.
My pleasure.
Ron, I wanted to ask you, you were an all-conference guy a year ago and been on some All-American teams, and but only 3 starters back, I think all in the secondary, so a lot of new faces on defense along with maybe a new philosophy and a new scheme. How have you adjusted, and how much of a leadership role have you taken with that group?
It ain't something I'm used to, but I got to do it. The coaches remind me all the time. So I kind of try to like take that leadership role. I took it like in the spring. I took it like way more serious in the spring, trying to get the team, you know, the defense to come together and things like that. We meet a lot as a defense, like as a whole, like just to study the new playbook and things like that. So the defense, we all come together and stuff on the same page.
What would have been the biggest changes on defense from maybe what you did a year ago?
Repeat that again.
What do you think the biggest changes are in your defensive philosophy over what you might have done a year ago?
Nah, really. Just run the ball. I mean, just stop the run, take the ball away. Just really the main thing. Really don't not really change what kind of defense. Really, just run to the ball, take the ball away, things like that.
All right. So you three offensive linemen back on this year's team. All you guys were all conference last year in the Big South. With some of the changes, do you feel like you guys are maybe the leaders of that offensive group going into the year?
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Most of the guys, they kind of like look up to us, you know, and the guys usually listen to us. So we try to take that leadership role, bring all the guys together and things like that.
How about for you, Caesar, with on the offensive line with the guys that are back? If you feel like you've taken more of a leadership role with the guys that you have back?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I do feel that way. The brand of football that we play up front is this: we try to be the strongest, fastest, most disciplined, and smartest guys on the field, and we're not letting up on that standard. And I feel like the guys coming back, we're keeping that standard and just bringing everybody up with us.
Next question from Azar. Go ahead, Azar.
Hey, Coach, how's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Good, good. I was basically the question I had at hand was that you guys did go 7-4 last year. You even beat your record is impressive against the competition that you went against. And I know you said that last year doesn't count, but how much of you showing that you can compete with those teams that were very successful the previous year and you were winning decisively in those games, how much does that give you confidence going into this new conference and translating that success into this division?
Yeah, I think, success breeds success. And so our kids know what it's like to experience success, but also the reality is that, that was in the past, entirely different conference. As I've said to our kids before, that the CAA is a conference in which there is tremendous parity in terms of the talent. Like every week, you're going to have to bring your A game to win the game. You're not going to go out and completely dominate opponents. There are no weak teams. And the records, as we talked about some of the prior members on, the records don't truly indicate the strength of these teams. So, the messaging has been, look, this is a whole different animal. We are talented, we can compete, but we're working towards creating a new standard of what success looks like in the coastal versus the conference that they had previously been in.
Thank you.
Next question from Kyle Kinson. Go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah, for Karan, Coach a few minutes ago had mentioned the environment at A&T, and what about A&T attracted you when you were transferring, and what about the university and the program has been sort of home for you?
It was really the culture and off the field, it was more like school more involved with the school, school activities, things like that. I think that's what really got me to come here, just the culture. Everybody genuine, everybody just love one another around here. It's all love around here. That's another thing I like about this place. Just feel like everybody love each other. Everybody got their back on this campus. Just feel like everybody just love each other here. And yeah, the school activities and things like that. You got things like Gray's Homecoming on early. It's just a lot of school activities, off the field, things you can do. On the field, too. I love football here and off the field. So I think everything about the school just made me want to come here.
In terms of activities, has there been anything that's been kind of your favorite in that regard?
As far as school activities off the field, I say the one thing I enjoy, I think every year we had this flag football game for the girls. We coach the girls. It'd be a tournament. I think we do it for I forgot what we do it for. Caesar,
Isn't it cancer awareness?
Yeah, I think it's for something like that. So that's a little bit I enjoy every year.
Thank you.
And we've got time for one or two more. Go ahead, Eddie Hughes. Go ahead, Eddie.
Hey, Coach. In the spring, you talked about establishing what you wanted to establish heading into the summer and into training camp. Do you feel like you kept that momentum going? How was that going into training camp from what you were able to do from the time you took over until up until this point?
I do. A great question. I think, as I've mentioned before, trying to lay the foundation of what it's going to take to be successful in the CAA. And I think our kids have done a tremendous job of buying in. The messaging has been consistent that, we're going to eliminate the things that cause you to lose games first and foremost. And so every drill from spring practice through summer conditioning, we talk about still eliminating the things that cause losing, mental mistakes, penalties, things of that era. So we're working hard to make sure that those core principles are instilled in our kids, and then we'll build off of that.
And one more for you from Skip. Go ahead, Skip.
Coach, it was already mentioned that you've got a 4-man battle at quarterback. What about running back? Because Tootin was a vital part of your offense last season, or the offense from last year's team. Who's in the running, or how many people do you have looking to fill that role?
Yeah, we have quite a few kids. Charlie Dixon, Wesley Graves, true freshman Jalen Hicks and Shamik Blizzard, transfer Kenji Christian. So we have some talented kids that I think will be able to come in and really, really help us. But it's our job as coaches, and we talk about it all the time, to find a way to get the ball into the hands of our best players and to feature those players with the specific strengths that each of them bring to the game. So we'll figure out what each of them do well, and we'll build our systems and schemes around that.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, guys. Vincent, Caesar, Karan, thanks so much for taking time here with us this morning. Good luck as the season gets underway.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ron.
All right, thank you.